You're listening to the Tank Magazine podcast, and in this episode, the writer Natasha Stallard travels to Antalya, Turkey, and the bizarre Land of Legends theme park, a place disconnected from the global politics that swirl around it. The full text version of this story is featured in the Tank travel issue.
Nothing can prepare you for the aesthetic onslaught of the Land of Legends theme park in Antalya, Turkey. Lime green and hot pink furniture, Roman centurions, candy cane chandeliers, and a walrus playing a saxophone are found alongside 12-foot projections of Xbox war games, artificial canals, fake government buildings, the deserted husk of a Dubai-esque shopping mall, and a contemporary dancer dressed as a high-tech lettuce, all whirling together in the heat of tourist excess. The $500 million mega theme park is a new addition to Antalya, the biggest theme park in Turkey, and the country's first ever kids' hotel. It's unfortunate timing. Land of Legends is competing for tourists who, until recently, flocked to Antalya for 300 days of sunshine, but who now visit in a cautious trickle, if they visit at all. Land of Legends opened a few months ago, right in the midst of Turkey's failed coup d'etat, thousands of arrests, and the subsequent state of emergency declared by President Erdogan. And it's where I am spending the weekend, trying out the water slides and spying on Russians. Antalya is where the Turkish and Russian economies meet each other most tangibly, the place where rubles are exchanged for lira and then spent on thematic architecture and scuba diving lessons. There's no doubt Land of Legends was conceived with the Russian market in mind. Construction began in 2015, a year when 3.5 million Russians visited Antalya, spread out among package holiday resorts such as Titanic Beach Lara, which resembles a cruise ship, and Wow Kremlin Palace, which resembles the Kremlin. Those numbers dropped by an estimated 90% this year, the direct result of a travel ban ordered by President Putin to punish Turkey for shooting down a Russian fighter plane on the Syrian border. For Turkey, still suffering from low tourist numbers after multiple terrorist attacks, Putin's blow was a crushing one. Russians and Germans are the two largest groups of tourists to Turkey, but every hotelier in Antalya says they've stopped coming. On the same day I arrive at the Land of Legends, the country's credit rating has been officially downgraded to junk, following a summer of depressing headlines for the country and for tourism. Turkey's tourism chapter is ending, reported the Daily Telegraph. Beaches normally packed with Brit tourists are now deserted, said The Sun, next to images of empty sun loungers and an unused parasol. The vacant summer months are over now. It's a sunny day in September. Putin's travel ban was lifted in July. To celebrate, the first charter airplane to arrive from Moscow at Antalya Airport was greeted with champagne, following a cocktail party that was held for Russian tourists. At the passport control point, tourists were transferred to hotels, local newspaper Daily Sabah reported. Walking through Land of Legends, I try to spot Russian guests. I find a few, a stack of Russian passports on the hotel lobby desk, a pair of blue swimming shorts with Russia stitched on the back, and a Cyrillic script tattooed on a bare chest in the wave pool. But in the lobby it's mostly empty, despite the imminent arrival of Valeria, a Russian pop star. Valeria is a very famous person in Russia, a Putin cheerleader and a reported confidant. She's openly supported the president on issues such as the Kremlin's anti-gay legislation and the imprisonment of Pussy Riot. A couple of years ago, Valeria's performance at a gala at the Royal Albert Hall in London provoked protests. Her presence felt to be a sign of the UK relaxing its sanctions against Moscow. There's no desire for an anti-Valeria protest at Land of Legends. She's here for a one-night-only concert to woo Russian tourists back to Antalya. A few fans linger at the reception desk nearby, either too shy to say hello or, like myself, unsure up until this moment who exactly she is. I linger behind a display table of complimentary candy and admire the costume change of the hotel's resident dwarf. Earlier today he was wrapped in toilet paper from head to toe, asking nearby children to unwind him as part of a practical joke, but now he's dressed in the toga, sandals and helmet of a Roman centurion, holding a bouquet of white roses and waiting for the perfect Valeria photo opportunity. Pop! The sound of a champagne bottle opening echoes across the lobby as Valeria enters. all platinum blonde and expensive distressed denim. Like I imagine any good pop star is supposed to, Valeria takes the scene in her stride. Her glossy lips kiss the Roman centurion on the cheek in total celebrity obedience, before quickly disappearing in a flurry of monogrammed luggage. Later, while scrolling through Valeria's Instagram feed looking for her selfie with President Putin, I see this moment with the centurion get 17,500 likes. After 24 hours at Land of Legends, you become accustomed to such surreal scenes. The Technicolor begins to neutralize, and you feel adrift from the outer world, from the responsibilities of normality. You spend your time eating sugared almonds, or drinking flavored milk, or whiling away the hours on the 72 rides ranging from typhoon roller coasters and underwater safaris to secret lagoons and a water slide where you're left to momentarily freefall down a plastic tube. I'm staying in the theme park's adjoining Kids Hotel. There's a magic library where kids are challenged to find the one real book among shelves of fake books, given titles like The Magic Chair and Grammar. There's Twister, rocking horses and a kids' radio station, but it's the kids' bar that's most popular. The first of its kind, I'm told by the PR manager, where children sit on bar stools, drinking smoothies and playing Xbox. Next to it, I watch an entertainer dressed like Roy Chubby Brown make intricate balloon animals for a group of pouting children. He smiles at me, the red balloon ladybird bulging cross-eyed in his hands. I wave. The smell of anti-allergy carpets perfumes the air. A junior technocrat destroys a pile of Jenga blocks and cries. My room is a boys' room, so it's decorated bright blue. The photographer, CG, is staying in a girls' room on the 4th floor, which is decorated bright pink, and covered in cartoon characters that look like angsty Roman legionnaires. When I ask if Land of Legends gets its name from these very classical-looking Romans, I'm told that they're not really Romans, but the creation of a certain Franco Dragoni. This makes very little sense to me, as Antalya is well known for its history as a Roman port. Mount Olympus is nearby too, but they say the cartoon characters aren't Greek either. Do the characters have any names, I ask? No, they whisper. Franco Dragoni is still completing his story, and everything will be revealed soon. This becomes a common response. The entertainment program is only 10% complete, they say, but Dragoni has a surprise for us. The name Dragoni is spoken with such transcendent glory, I begin to wonder if he's real, but a quick Google search reveals Franco Dragoni does exist. An Italian-Belgian theatre director and one of the creators of Cirque du Soleil, who has gone on to have a long career producing shows like Celine Dion in Las Vegas and Russian pop star Philip Kirkorov at the Kremlin Palace. The director must be an expert in glitz and questionable political glamour. Franco Dragoni's production company, Dragoni Productions, is one of Land of Legends' collaborators, along with its founders, the Rixos Hotel Group, and the commercial partner Emaar Properties, the Dubai real estate developers of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and Dubai Mall, the biggest mall in the world. As well as the cartoon characters, Franco Dragoni has created the world's first musical boat parade for the resort. Every night, a fleet of contemporary dancers in multicoloured lycra and heavy makeup travel down the canal separating the hotel from the theme park, in a show inspired by fire, water, and music. It culminates at the bottom of Legends Tower, a 111-metre-tall building that looks a bit like Sleeping Beauty's castle, although Disneyland is neither an inspiration nor a competitor, the PR say. It's not Sleeping Beauty's castle, and the hotel's exterior opposite the tower isn't Roman. Despite the statues of soldiers, Corinthian columns, lots of domes, and an official-looking cornice, crowned by a statue of 4 horses which, when I arrive in the middle of the night, I felt were both quite imposing and a startling reminder of the apocalypse. It's not Roman, but it's Roman style, the PR say when I ask them. It's like a Kinder Surprise egg. Outside the building is very serious and diplomatic, like a government building, but inside it's a sugar world. The hotel's resemblance to a governmental building is not by accident. Sembol, the Turkish construction firm that built the site in 20 months, has worked on projects in Kazakhstan, such as the Palace of Independence and the National University of Defense. This makes sense. Land of Legends is precisely what happens when you mix a Celine Dion Las Vegas show with a military building in the steppes. Inside, the building Sugar Wild is filled with multicoloured modular furniture in a range of asymmetrical shapes, like a 1980s showroom for the Memphis group. While waiting for the Russians to return to Antalya, Land of Legends has welcomed Gulf tourists with open arms. The management says almost 50% of its clientele has so far been from the Gulf states, which could be true. Everything here feels very like Dubai. Many of the non-Turkish staff previously worked in Dubai, including the chief dolphin trainer who came from the Atlantis Aquaventure water park on the Palm. The dolphins are key to the Land of Legends legend. You can line up in a swimming pool to kiss them for an extra fee, or watch them in the daily 2 p.m. show in the 1,800-seat Dolphin Stadium, where they're joined by the walrus, who plays a saxophone, and a pair of white belugas that dance and croon along to Henry Mancini's Moon River. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I'm heading towards my 4 p.m. reservation for Mythical Journey, described as an underwater safari. To get there, I walk through the waterfront kingdom, where all the aqua park entertainments are based. 30 degrees Celsius of Mediterranean sunshine bears down on the half-naked bodies as they float along the lazy river and slide down the fast and good. I'm in a woozy mood, partly due to the sheer amount of sugar I've consumed, as well as the endless glass jars of candy kept filled 24/7 in the lobby. There's the breakfast buffet, which offers racks of sprinkled donuts, syrupy cakes, and its own ice cream station, entered through a kid-sized door with handles shaped like candy canes. This morning, I watched as a chef rearranged a display of Kellogg's Fruit Loops, as if it were a Japanese flower arrangement. There is a paragraph in Renata Adler's novel Speedboat, in which the narrator is lying on a Mediterranean boat deck on a windless day. It was odd that I should be there, she thinks, but no more odd than my work, or the slums, or the places where people do find themselves as their luck shifts. As she lies in the sun, she sees an 18-year-old girl, blonde, shy, laconic, sunbathing with great seriousness. The blonde girl lies there silently for a few hours and then says, "When you have a tan, what have you got?" This is sort of how I feel as I wander through the Land of Legends. Wantless, pummeled, distant. With so many children around, life feels out of proportion. It is in this state that I embark on the Mythical Journey, which turns out to be a sea trek. An astronaut-like helmet is lowered onto my head by crane before I descend for a walk along the aquarium floor, feeding fishes from my hands, while being stared at by the entire hotel restaurant and adjacent tank of baby sharks. It is a de-woozing experience, if only for the strange experience of gravity it gives me in the cool outfit. Most of the group I'm trekking with are Ukrainian, so we were given the safety instructions in Russian. The instructor may have been confused by my Russian name, Natasha. Everyone is united as we practice popping our own ears. After the trek, I chat to one of the members of the group, a 20-something girl named Aneta from Kiev. Aneta is on a 7-day package holiday with her boyfriend at a neighbouring resort and has come to the Land of Legends for the day to try the Mythical Journey and swim with dolphins. When I ask her why she picked Turkey for a holiday, her answer is practical. She's too scared of flying to travel much further. And why would the state of emergency bother her? In Ukraine, they're used to political instability. Turkey is still in a state of emergency. The purges of Gulenis continue, but we're watching penguins swim in the Mediterranean weather. The CEO of the resort has been shopping for new roller coasters at a conference in Barcelona, I'm told, searching for the latest technology to fill up the remaining half of the site's 800,000 square meters. Land of Legends is still in phase 1 of completion. Climb to the top of the highest water slide, or look out from the balcony of the hotel's presidential suite, and you see the surrounding construction site, the nearby Taurus Mountains shimmering behind it. Even in phase 1, it's still the biggest water park in Europe, as the hotel management says. Turkey's application to the European Union is on hold. A future rift between Turkey and Russia seems likely too, given the situation over Syria. As tourist numbers fail to return to normal, this does not seem the perfect moment to open a water park, even if it is the biggest in a Europe that you're no longer sure you belong to.
To hear more podcasts from Tank Magazine, be sure to subscribe through the iTunes Store. The theme music for this podcast is taken from Waiting Games by Kate Simcoe and the London Electronic Orchestra.